Alright, here's the full story of Spartacus, both the historical account and a touch of drama to bring it to life. Who was Spartacus? Spartacus was born around 111 BC in Thrace, modern-day Bulgaria, Greece, or Turkey area. He likely served as a soldier in the Roman auxiliary forces but was later captured, enslaved, and sold into gladiator training at the Litis school in Capua, Italy. Trained to fight and die for Roman entertainment, Spartacus had other plans. The escape, 73 BC. Spartacus, along with around 70 to 80 gladiators including Crixus, Gannicus, and Enemaus, broke out using kitchen tools, seized wagons of weapons, and fled to Mount Vesuvius. There, they started building an army composed mostly of escaped slaves, shepherds, and peasants. As their numbers grew, so did their confidence. The slave war begins. Rome underestimated them at first. Small Roman forces were sent to crush the rebellion, but Spartacus outsmarted and outmaneuvered them. He turned untrained masses into a deadly force and beat multiple Roman legions. His strategy combined guerrilla warfare with Roman tactics. He likely learned it as a soldier. Goals and visions. Spartacus didn't want to destroy Rome, he wanted freedom. His plan was to escape over the Alps so the slaves could return to their homelands. But not everyone agreed. Crixus and others wanted to march on Rome itself. The rebellion split for a time. Crixus eventually fell in battle. Rome takes it seriously. Enter Crassus. By now, Spartacus had tens of thousands of followers. Rome panicked and called on Marcus Licinius Crassus, one of the wealthiest men in Roman history. Crassus was brutal. He revived the cruel punishment of decimation, killing every 10th man. To discipline his troops, Spartacus tried to negotiate with Crassus and even tried to sail to Sicily to start a new uprising, but the plan failed. The final stand, 71 BC. Spartacus and his remaining forces were cornered in southern Italy. He made one last charge straight at Crassus, possibly hoping to kill him personally. Spartacus fought bravely but was killed in battle. His body was never found. Aftermath: Rome crucified 6,000. Captured rebels along the Appian Way from Capua to Rome. Over 120 miles of suffering. It was meant to send a message: never rebel against Rome. But Spartacus became a legend. Legacy: Spartacus became a symbol of resistance, fighting not for power, but for freedom. Over the centuries, he inspired revolutionaries, artists, and writers. His story was famously dramatized in the 1960 film, Spartacus and the Gritty Stars series. Spartacus, Blood and Sand. While there are no surviving contemporary images or portraits of Spartacus from his time, artists and sculptors have created various representations based on historical interpretations. One notable example is the statue, Spartacus Breaking His Chains by Denis Foidier, completed in 1847, which depicts Spartacus as a powerful figure breaking free from his bonds. Additionally, modern media has popularized Spartacus's image through films and television series. For instance, the 1960 film Spartacus, starring Kirk Douglas, and the TV series Spartacus, Blood and Sand, have shaped contemporary visualizations of the gladiator. These artistic interpretations aim to capture the essence of Spartacus's defiance and strength, though they are not based on historical port. Alright, let's dive deeper into the key figures around Spartacus, his closest allies and most formidable enemy. Here's the raw and legendary breakdown. 1. Crixus, the savage warrior. Origin: a Gallic Celtic slave and gladiator. Role: Spartacus' right-hand man in the early stages of the rebellion. Personality: fierce, fearless, proud. He believed in direct confrontation and glory in battle. Crixus wasn't just fighting for freedom, he wanted revenge on Rome. Path: after escaping with Spartacus, Crixus helped lead and train the growing army, but he disagreed with Spartacus' plan to leave Italy and return home. Crixus wanted to march on Rome. Split and death: Crixus broke off with about 30,000 rebels. Unfortunately, this made them vulnerable. A Roman army ambushed and killed him in 72 BC in his honor. Spartacus forced captured Romans to fight each other to the death. As a mock game's tribute. Legacy: Crixus became a martyr among the rebels, remembered as a lion who fell before the final war even began. 2. Gannicus, the free spirit. Origin: a Celtic gladiator, known more from legend and TV adaptations than strict history. Personality: wild, charismatic, loyal but unpredictable. He fought like a god, drank like a demon, and lived like tomorrow wasn't promised. Role: while less confirmed in historical texts, Gannicus appears in Roman lore as one of the last commanders alongside Spartacus. In modern portrayals like the Stars series, He's the free gladiator who rejoined the rebellion, not because he had to but because he chose to. And Gannicus is believed to have died in the final stand with Spartacus around 71 BC, a warrior to the end. Legacy. In the mythos of Spartacus, Gannicus is the embodiment of brotherhood, freedom, and defiance, fighting not out of bondage, but out of loyalty. 3. Crassus, the ruthless Roman. Full name, Marcus Licinius Crassus. Origin, Rome's richest man. Ambitious, cunning, and cold. A political rival of Julius Caesar and Pompey. Personality, calculating and relentless. Where others saw slaves with weapons, he saw a threat to Roman order and his path to glory. Personality, charismatic, witty, carefree but deadly. Lived for the thrill of the fight, wine, and women. A paradox, a man who was already free, yet chose to fight for others' freedom. Final days. In 71 BC, he co-led a portion of the army with another general named Castus. They were defeated shortly before Spartacus' final battle, died fighting, sword in hand. In pop culture, brought to life by Dustin Clare in the Spartacus series, depicted as a fan favorite. A wild card with a heart of gold and a warrior's honor. Crassus, Rome's iron fist. Historical identity, Marcus Licinius Crassus, born 115 BC, known as the richest man in Roman history, thanks to real estate schemes and fire brigades he owned. Part of the first triumvirate with Caesar and Pompey. Motivation, craved military glory he felt, overshadowed by Caesar's charisma and Pompey's victories. Saw crushing Spartacus as a way to legitimize his power. Military strategy, took over the slave war after several Roman failures. Enforced decimation, the execution of every 10th soldier and cowardly. Legions reviving ancient cruelty. Built fortifications to trap Spartacus in the toe of Italy. Used discipline, strategy, and brute force to bring the rebellion to its knees. Aftermath and death. Though he ended the rebellion, Pompey swooped in at the end and stole much of the credit. Crassus later sought even more power, invading Parthia in 53 BC where he was killed at the Battle of Carrhae. Legend says the Parthians poured molten gold down his throat, mocking his greed. In pop culture, often depicted as cold, calculating, and pragmatic. Reconstruction, a modern digital reconstruction, based on historical portraits, offers an interpretation of Crassus's appearance. Please note that while the portrayals of Crixus and Gannicus are based on modern interpretations for television, the images of Crassus are derived from historical artifacts and artistic reconstructions. Absolutely, let's go even deeper into each of them, their history, personality, motivations, and how their stories unfolded in both real history and dramatized retellings. Crixus, the fallen champion of Capua. Historical background. A Gallic gladiator from what is now France or Belgium, enslaved by Rome and trained in the ludus of Batiatus in Capua. Crixus's name likely meant curly-haired, common in Gaul. Role in the rebellion, one of the earliest and most important leaders alongside Spartacus. A natural battlefield commander, ferocious and inspiring, often viewed as more hot-headed and confrontational than Spartacus. Philosophy and conflict. Crixus wanted to stay in Italy, gather more forces, and bring down Rome. Spartacus, on the other hand, hoped to escape Italy and avoid total war. This ideological divide caused Crixus to split off with tens of thousands of followers. Death and impact. Crushed by Roman general Lucius Gellius in 72 BC near Mount Garganus. For more story, please like and share. Tell us the story of actor in the comments section.